So one day I took out a walk into the forest and I just was walking. And the level of shame and resentment and anger, it is not the beauty of the place which drew me there, it is the pain.
Traveling from the deep forest into the sun.
If trees could speak, what all would this tree have to say? It was a Saturday morning in Isha village, right here in the middle of the Cherokee Forest in Tennessee. I'd just gone out for a drive and I was hungry. The cold weather actually makes you want to eat more because you have to burn up more calories to stay warm. Right? Or maybe it's just my inner chipmunk. But other than water, my kitchen was literally empty. Today I'd have to finally make it into McMinnville town for a quick grocery run. Or so I thought.
Hey city. Hey city. Hey city.
See, the internet around here is quite patchy, and because I'm so new to the area, without a map, I'm literally blind. So I just drove straight through the town.
My Verizon internet hasn't kicked in yet, so I'm just driving straight until Siri starts responding to my call.
But slowly, the town roads started becoming thinner and thinner. I couldn't even turn around if I wanted to. And then a few no trespassing signs started popping up, along with some pro-Trump signs, all of which definitely didn't feel very welcoming. Finally, City woke up and said that we were just a mile away from the main road. It seems we'd reached a little town called Woodbury, Tennessee. By then, I'd completely forgotten about my groceries. I did a quick Google scan and landed up at this little corner. Ah, McMinnville's painful past. This sign marks what the Native Americans called the Trail of Tears and Death. Over 200 years ago, 18,000 Native Americans were forced out of their homes and off their land by the Andrew Jackson government, largely triggered by the sudden discovery of gold in that area. This particular route was the northern route, and Native Americans walked from McMinnville to here at Woodbury to Murfreesboro and finally into Oklahoma, where the government had designated Indian territory for them to live. Because of the brutal way the Native Americans were pushed out of their homes, over 4,000 of them actually died along this route. Back in 2006, I happened to be here on this land where the Isha Institute of Inner Sciences currently is for the inauguration ceremony in the presence of Sadhguru. I remember my little 16-year-old mind being completely overwhelmed at hearing how and why Sadhguru chose this land to establish a center of yoga and meditation.
This is in 2003. I was writing a book, so somebody offered me a small cottage near the Central Hill Lake in Tennessee, near Cookville. So one day I took out a walk into the forest and I just was walking. And I saw something, a kind of a frozen spirit. In such a state of shame, pain, resentment this is someone who held another person, a more important person like a brother, but he could not protect him, he was killed. And he just stood there and froze as a spirit. And the level of shame and resentment and anger and a complex pain above all. I have to tell you, in my life, probably that's been the most painful moment in my life. I've never seen that kind of pain, the Native American spirit standing there like that, and I did something with that force. And on that day, I decided I should know more about what happened. And as I explored this, I realized this region in Tennessee was called as Trail of Tears, and we were looking for a land to set up our center. And we set it up right there at the beginning of Trail of Tears. It is not the beauty of the place which drew me there, it is the pain of that place which drew me there, because my work, my life is to see that people can live without this pain.
While Sadhguru had become interested in the Native Americans over 17 years ago, I was sitting in my middle school history class reading a very tiny and highly distorted paragraph
Oh my gosh!
about this event. Honestly, I and probably thousands of other Americans had no idea to what extent the Trail of Tears actually went. So after a quick stop at Walmart for those groceries, I made a tiny detour to a symbol of the Native American past, just 25 minutes from Isha village. A Cherokee brave and his pretty young bride traveled on the Trail of Tears, waiting the coming of their firstborn child, their hearts so full of fear. So many had died, but they struggled with pride, and they swore that someday they'd be free. In the heat of the morn, their child was born in the shade of the birthing tree. This large white oak tree was a place where the pregnant Native American women used to stop to deliver their babies under the tree. And it was said that babies who were born under this tree would live a strong life. Arborists say that the acorn for this tree germinated in 1609, well before America's independence. If trees could speak, or more importantly, if we could listen, what all would this tree have to say?
Here we are at McMinnville, birthing tree as it is known. There is a rich history of wagon trains settling around this tree, and because the legend of Indian women delivering healthy babies, strong children for the future came with this tree, many settlers who stayed here for long stretches of time to beat the winter before they continued their journey, also delivered many babies. Even today, in this town of McMinnville, which is the base town for Isha Institute of Inner Sciences, many people trace their ancestors as having been born beneath this tree. It's a fantastic feel to be here under this tree. There is a richness of life.
I looked around and saw a Namaste OBGYN clinic just down the street, and just a few feet away from the tree is this dialysis clinic. And it seems that these doctors believe that there's a common thread between their work and the tree. They see the presence of the tree as the source of powerful medicinal healing.
We got your soul hunting alone.
Driving back, I was swept away with wonder.
Oh, Geronimo, tears keep on falling, the nighttime is ours.
What gave these Native Americans the strength to withstand such hardship, not just from Mother Nature, but of colonialism? And what gave them this deep stillness that we can see in their eyes? Although I grew up in this country, I suddenly felt completely clueless about its mysterious native roots. I hope I can have a little glimpse of these beautiful people.